When food vanished and cities burned, survival in World War II wasn't just about finding something to eat. It was about mastering the mind. Across bombed-out London streets, occupied France, and famine-struck Eastern Europe, ordinary civilians faced hunger so intense it could drive anyone to madness. Yet millions endured. They didn't just survive, they adapted, rewired their thinking, and turned deprivation into discipline. It wasn't about muscle or resources, it was a mental transformation. This was survival through psychology. Hunger was reframed from pain into purpose. Hunger halved is hunger halved, as one Polish survivor wrote. You know, the exchange of emotional energy, laughter, conversation, empathy, was just as nourishing as food itself. Isolation, well, it led to despair, but connection that bred endurance. And then there was gratitude. Not the gentle kind we talk about today, but the raw, survival-grade version. Every scrap became sacred. Diaries from 1941 Leningrad describe people celebrating half a potato as a feast. In bombed-out London, families sang over watered-down soup because it meant they were still together. Gratitude became defiance, a refusal to let suffering dictate worth. Neurologically, gratitude activates the same brain centers that regulate stress and focus. Those civilians didn't know the science, but they lived its truth. They proved that attention determines endurance. When you count what remains instead of what's gone, your body follows your belief. World War II civilians didn't endure famine because they were superhuman. They survived because they thought differently. They discovered that survival begins not in the stomach, but in perception, in the silent dialogue between willpower and reality. Their endurance wasn't built on food, but on focus. They turned hunger into meaning, repetition into order, isolation into solidarity, despair into discipline. In their world of ruin, the mind became the only weapon left, and they wielded it with quiet brilliance. The lesson remains timeless. When comfort vanishes and chaos sets in, survival belongs not to the strongest, but to the most mentally trained. Hunger still comes in many forms: scarcity, stress, uncertainty, but the principles remain the same. Frame pain as purpose. Build structure where there's none. Fill thought with work, not worry. Anchor yourself in community. Accept what you can't control. And above all, stay grateful. Those aren't just strategies for survival. They're blueprints for resilience. The civilians of World War II taught us something science now confirms. The brain is the body's first line of defense. It's the difference between collapse and composure, surrender and survival. Every rationed meal, every shared crust of bread, every act of defiant calm under fire. It all came from one truth. You can't always feed the body, but you can always feed the will.